Hey guys, welcome back. So here we are, we're going to install the first set of gates. We're going to weld up a few supports for each post. I decided to do kind of what I call them outriggers. They go to the inside and outside, just some extra spare pipe. That lets if you swing the gate open, it will hopefully support it so it won't wiggle its way. You know, there's no concrete or anything. These posts are just pounded into the ground. But if it's working pretty good. There's enough rock here, so once I do the outriggers, it should stay pretty good. And then I have this cross piece that I put in, so when the gate's there, it's taking a little bit of the weight and should be just fine. The gates are fairly heavy, I guess. They're not going to be, crazy gates, but once you'll see later on when they're actually hanging, they work pretty easily, and I don't think they're going to be an issue at all. These cross pieces definitely add in the strength and definitely the moment for trying to pull themselves out of the post. So anyway, it was going pretty good using a stick welder, and I'm actually using I believe it's a fairly thick stick, and this particular, I have to find the model what it is, but it's easy to start the arc, and it flows really well. I still suck at the vertical welds. I have to walk from the bottom upwards. That seems to be my best plan. I have a hard time welding up down, so I do down up. But anyway, here you see me using a post hole digger. Upside down, it has a kind of a blunt end, and I pound the ground, make it nice and tight, tighten it up. It's works pretty good. It's been raining on and off here the last couple of weeks, I guess, and the ground's a little bit damp, so it actually helps keep bang the posts in, and now they're getting nice and hard and set. So once you level them out, they seem to stay pretty good. Plus, they won't be like real load on these things except for the posts. So anyway, just rinse and repeat. Use the tractor as my tool bench, and make fish mouths and the pipes so I can graft around make tighter welds. And they're at all these things are going to be at a slightly different angle, so I have to do each one separately. I don't have a level of any kind to figure it out, or angle set. I use it's kind of like an angle fixer thingamabob, and I just look down it, and it gets pretty close. So the angles are what they are. Don't even have an idea what they are, but it works pretty good. I get close enough, and then I just pack the weld in there, so makes it pretty solid. Cool thing about stick welding, you can pretty much weld anything together, dirty, clean, whatever. I do grind the metal to make it sort of clean, and then of course you just puke it on there. And I don't actually break off the scale usually, because the arc will melt it out again. So that seems to work pretty good. And when I bang off the stuff, the welds look pretty okay. You know, they're not perfect by any means, especially the vertical ones, and the underneath, they are what they are. You can see a teeny little fire there. Hey, there's some junk in some of these pipes. It's black. I have no idea what it is, but it's kind of like plasticky, and when it gets hot, it burns. So who knows what these pipes were used for? It smells like something burning, so who knows what it is. But anyways, only a few of those pipes had it in there. The rest were dry, so no clue what it was. Hopefully not toxic, but I'll cross my fingers and say no. So there it is. So time to put in the gates. I preset the size off from the opening. I think I made them 4.5 inches divided by 2, smaller than the opening. And here I'm using very generic hinges. They're male-female clamp style hinges. They go on with a single bolt. Just align them wherever you want, and then they're very easy to line in and out, etc. So, and they work very easily. I was gonna do weld-ons, but that's a bit of a pain, so I decided to do these so we can adjust them if we have to. But anyway, it worked pretty good. So you see me using the tractor for getting everything in place. These are the larger ones. I mean, I can get another person to hold them, but the tractor's pretty good for this. So anyway, put the hinges on, align them, and good to go. So December 24th, I said to do an hour or two worth of work. You know, Christmas Eve and all. The weather was kind of goofy, and I'm actually using not a very good set of batteries, DeWalt batteries. They're old, and a couple of small ones, those tiny little ones they provide with some of their tools, which I need to throw them away because they last for like 1 minute and they're done. So I didn't get really done with everything. I was hoping to do the cross pieces and the outriggers, but that didn't happen. I only did one side, and then did the outriggers on the second side, and then the batteries went to. Hey, I had none, so I guess I could have had an extension cord, but that would have been another thing. Anyway, so I stopped working after the batteries went kaput, but I got at least the kickouts done and the outriggers, and then the cross pieces on the left side. Again, stick welding. There's you can see quite a bit of grass around there, but it's super moist. I did clean it up a little bit so I wouldn't catch anything on fire. Everything was good. The rods I'm using don't overly spark too much, so that's pretty cool. Of course, the grinder, the cutoff wheel, that seems to spark more than the actual rod, so it is what it is. But I'm sure the rod is a little bit hotter. But anyway, so it worked out pretty good. Easy peasy, and I got after this I'll have 2.5 to go. So there you go. So back at it, December 24th. Here we are doing welding up the smaller gate in the back. This is just an access gate. The RTV will get through it. I'm not sure the tractor will. Probably will. But it's a tiny gate. Here I'm putting the gates up. It's fairly easy. Just basically hook it up. We have the pin style of hinges. Super easy. Nothing fancy. They just bolt onto it, and you one's a male, one's a female, and you attach them and you're done. And then a little bit of straightening just so they're parallel with the fence and all that, and it goes up pretty fast. So easy peasy. The hinges were from Amazon, of course, because what isn't on Amazon anymore? So here I'm setting up the little kickouts for the posts. They're going to hold up the gate. This is the gate on the left side of the house, near the bobcat, near the pool. We have 4 gates, a little excessive, but instead of running around the whole property trying to get into the fence or out of it, decided to make a whole bunch of these, and it'll make sense. We can put the tractor, bobcat, whatever through the gates, and as well as the lawnmower when we need to. So nothing crazy, but these pipes are pretty fun to play with. Fairly easy, just doing a little fish mouth on all the kickouts, and then a little bit of welding here. The welding's pretty straightforward. Some of these pipes have that pukey black junk in them. It's kind of like almost looks like plastic, but we don't know what that is. But it does catch fire, so I don't think I really videotaped that. But it was fun to watch it. It bubbles and then it hardens into this black stuff. It feels very much like kind of like an oily plastic. It's always good to do a little bit of cleanup on these. Are pretty rusty, right? So grinding down a little bit of the rust and then welding, it always makes it a little better weld. But stick welding, you can puke through rust anyway. Eventually, it finds metal and it sticks pretty good. This is a fence; it's not super structural or anything, but I wanted to make the welds complete so moisture and junk doesn't really get inside it. Hopefully, I got most of them. The ones on the ground, not so much, but in any case, pretty straightforward. I think that this is the leg that had the one that's the crossbeam diagonal one that had a lot of junk in it, and you can see this, the extra smoke, and then it stops welding really nicely, so I have to wait a little bit. But aside from that, that was it. Here I'm doing the last gate, the big gate on the back side of the house. This is our main entrance, I guess, to the inside of the fencing and out to the property. But anyway, it's probably the widest gate. I'm just doing the kickouts. You can see there's a little bit of slope there, so I have to use rocks to support the kickouts. And you know, it is what it is. No big deal. I think once the weather rains a little bit and all settles down the dirt around the posts, I think it'll be a lot more solid. A few of them still move a tiny bit, but I tried to bang them down with the post hole digger, flipped over. It's got a little big handle on it, so I just pounded it down and made them pretty tight, but still, you can still wiggle them. You can see me moving it a little bit, but they'll tighten up. I'm not worried about that. So all good. So here I'm going to paint three sets of the fencing. I'm just using acrylic black matte paint, just like I did on the house sections of it. And I'm spraying as much as I can. I'm overspraying just to see if I can get most of the stuff to not be silver. Of course, the black kind of hides away when we set it up, so you can't see it as well, which is what we're going for. So once we put this up, it'll be kind of a invisible fence. Not really, but at least it'll be less visible. So there you go. So the rolls are 100 feet long, so we're trying to not cut them up when we don't need to. So we're going to try to roll it all the way from one first post all the way down for 100 feet. The gates we've closed. We're going to basically tie strap them down to the posts and the gate, and then we'll cut the gate open. Angie's helping because it kind of takes two to play with the stuff. And then first we're using little tie straps to hold it temporarily in place, and then we use the metal straps, fencing ties, for all over the place to keep the fence on the posts. So a little bit of work, not too hard. Just and actually it's light enough where it's not a big problem lifting the whole 100-foot section around the posts. And of course on the back side of the hill, we're going to cut that because it's a bit of a slope. So I don't want to do a stair style of fence. So we're just going to angle it down and have angled 2x4 sections. Not a big deal. Yeah, once we get the fencing tight on everything, then we start cutting the fence open on the gates so they'll function. And we're trying to make them as tight as we can. We didn't use any come-alongs or anything to get the tightness of the fence like they do in the commercial stuff, but this is good enough for what we were needing it for. Just hand tight, and then we put tie straps everywhere. Here I'm going to unroll as much as I can of the fence all the way down the side of the fence line. We're trying to stay kind of to the trees, but not right on top of them, and trying to stay away from rocks that are jutting out of the ground. But these rolls are fairly heavy, I guess. Probably 50-60 pounds, but fairly easy to unroll. So that was good. And then we just flop it on the posts and start tying it up. Well, while the weather's good, so we're keeping on working. So trying to get the fence up as much as as quickly as we can, just so we can let the dogs roam around in there. The weather's pretty good over the Christmas holidays and stuff. It was really nice, not too cold, not too hot, and we were able to basically finish all the main pipe work. And here I'm using, of course, a tractor to put the gates up. Just hold it in place, jiggle, 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 and tighten everything down and make it work. So it took a few attempts at that, but not a big deal. And the last gate, woohoo! So this was you see a little bit of slope on the ground, so when it's going to be about an inch or so different height, not a big deal. But yeah, everything went pretty good. So we're pretty happy to be done with this, and then we're going to start popping the wire on the rest of the fence. So we did half and half. You saw us putting half the wire up, and now we're doing the rest of it, and it just turned out that way. So not a biggie. Last of the fence, so I had to trim this tree a little bit just to not make it hit the wire. You can't really see the wire, but it's actually up there. So hey, the invisible black's working, right? It's a little silvery. We've got a few sloppy areas that we're gonna again paint, but just to hide it. But it works pretty good. You can see obviously that the paint didn't get on everything, but anyway, it did an okay job, I think. So last part of the fence. Snap this out. You see the cat back there trying to get out of the fence, so it's actually working already. The dogs were pretty confused, running around trying to get in and out, but aside from that, everything was good. Hey guys, Vita here, Blueberry Hill. So here we are. This is January 2nd, and we're hard at work again. Sort of. Yeah, just doing the fence. So we're doing a kind of like a dog fence, game fence. Yes, I was doing it all in time lapse. So we're basically trying to keep those critters in there and all those critters out there. So we'll see how that goes. But eventually we're gonna get chickens back there and a garden. So we're trying to keep all the things kind of controlled. Hopefully there's a couple areas here where the cats can sneak in and out. I left a few areas for the cat can sneak through the gate right there, and not too many other places, so I'm gonna have to make probably kind of like a cat door, a sneak door for them, and we'll see where that goes. But anyway, it wasn't too bad. Angie went off to see family this weekend, so I'm doing this alone. I'm just gonna finish. I got one probably 15-foot section up front. This is the last part in the back. I got to do some big tie straps, tie that wire to the post. I think I have those somewhere, and basically just cut another section for the front, where we actually started the whole fencing thing, and that should be it for the wire at least. Next I have to make latches. I can't find the latches I want for the double gates. They make them, but not for 2 3/8 inch pipe. They make them for 1 3/4 or 1 1/2, normal chain link stuff, but not kind of like a farm or I don't know, ranch kind of thing. So I'm gonna have to probably weld something, double sliders to kind of lock it, and it won't let the door open, either door open with the special double latch. We'll talk about that later when I actually do it. Anyway, it was a fun project, fairly easy. You saw me doing the bobcat, you know, pounding the holes in the ground, blah blah blah. Then the putting the posts in, and we're good to go. Anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Hit the subscribe. We'll talk at you later. Hey, and last but not least, the front side. We had 2 sections we didn't do. I was waiting to have some cutoffs, and I had to go get one more roll. We needed 4, not 3. I initially bought 3. So I had to get one more painted and then put it up. And this is, we have a little bit left over, but not as much as I thought we would. So anyway, all good. This required a little bit of hand work because it's at an angle. The rock right in front of the camera, that is a bed of rock, which even the bobcat couldn't scratch. So the little cliff is what it is. So that's not going anywhere. But anyway, almost done. Very happy with that. And then we let the dogs loose in there. We just use rocks to hold the gates closed, and they're having fun in there. So I'm a little bit late on doing this video, but aside from that, appreciate you guys watching. Anyway, if you're still interested, we've got more videos coming up, of course. So hit the subscribe button, and we'll see what we can do. Anyway, appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.